That's 200 deals a year from 50 people.
So the big question is, what are the top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams, and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? If you ever thought about this, you're not alone. No one has been able to get the answers until now.
We spent the last few years helping agents sell billions in real estate, rubbing shoulders with top producers, which got us thinking, how can we expose more people to these insights to help raise the standard in the whole real estate industry? We then realized that we could help bridge the gap by getting the secrets from the best of the best so that you can succeed. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Elite Agent Secrets.
Now we want to get into the gritty, like how we're getting deals, which for you, it's calling your database and leveraging a database.
Yes.
And I want to learn how you're doing that. It'd be interesting if you do have any kind of input on this. If someone doesn't have a database, how potentially you would go around that too. I'm interested to hear how you're working with database, but if someone doesn't have one, how would you go?
If somebody's watching and listening to this podcast, they're probably tech savvy enough to have one of these, right?
Phone, yeah.
Okay. If you got this, you got a database. No excuses.
Okay.
I love it. So do you think of your database as your phone, your Facebook, your Instagram, your social media, as pretty much anything and everything?
Yeah. I mean, do you go to church? There's people there you can work. Do you have a guys like golf, group that you're a part of, or tennis group, or, do you go to the gym and work out? There's so many opportunities that you don't see as opportunities because they're just what you do on a daily basis. But if you change your mindset and you become, it's not, you got to be careful on how you do it. Like you don't want to be the guy that's like, knocking on the door saying, feeling like, and if anybody's a used car salesman, don't take this the wrong way. I love you guys, but you don't want to have that perception, right? But if you come at it from a relationship standpoint and you listen, if you've got 2 ears, 1 mouth, you will give yourself the opportunity to be, the person that they want to send business to. Because at the end of the day, people are going to do business, at least in real estate, and I would say arguably almost anything. They're going to do business with people they like. Okay. So if you're likable and you're personable and people think that you care about them, and I'm not saying be fake, like pretend like you care, actually care about people. And it's like the old saying is like giver's gain, be a giver and you'll see what happens to you in the end.
Love it. I love it. It's interesting. You are leveraging basically your network around you, because a lot of people we've heard have said this as well. We have someone else on, there's 2.5 million a year in GCI, him and his partner. And one of the big ways they got going with their sphere was exactly this. He's a father. And he was like, when I'm stood outside waiting for my kids from school, like I was networking. And like, this is how I started. He was like, I went to the gym. I was networking. I did this. I was networking. Like he moved to a completely different state, a city as well. And he was like, everything I did, I was networking. He's like, I was making friends. I was building relationships. And he's like, whenever I managed to get a deal, in a month or in 3 years, it's like, I'm just building this sphere, this pipeline constantly through, like, this isn't even like purposeful real estate prospect. This is like just being a good person, putting it out there and just leveraging what I do in day-to-day life.
Yes. Now you got to, but let's be very clear that, you can't be friends in relationships with everybody. Okay. Right. One of my mentors.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because that's so true. You're just not going to fucking like everybody, period.
No, you're not.
Okay.
And they're not going to like you. And at the end of the day, like you can't be in a relationship with 1,000 people. Okay. It's just not going to happen. So, you can have 1,000 people in your database. Like if you get somebody that called off your sign and you can work them in some cold follow-up fashion, right? Like there is ways to work cold business. I'm not saying we don't do that, because we do. But for the people that I'm actively working and building the relationship with and asking them, how their kid's football game went and things like that. One of my mentors here in town says they got to pass the grocery store test. If I'm walking through the grocery store and I cross you in the aisle and we don't recognize each other or say anything, I'm not in a relationship with you. But if we're going to be in the aisle and we're going to be the annoying people that stop and, block the aisle and everybody's having to go around to get around us in our conversation, I'm in relationship with you.
I like that. That's the first time I've heard that, but it is so true. When I am at the grocery store and I see somebody that I'm chilling or kicking with or haven't caught up in a while, you definitely block that aisle for at least a few minutes when you catch up.
Having a good chat. So let's get into nitty gritty. I know you touched on it earlier with work in your database. You kind of threw a few bits of bait out there that I know our listeners who clicked in the first 5 minutes are like, I'm waiting to hear how he's working this shit to get all these deals. So let's get the lowdown on how you're managing to work a lot of deals out your database, because it sounds like you're getting a shitload. And different strategies that you are using and actionable tips that people can go out and be like, go and do this shit. And it really works. Yeah.
And we don't generate a ton of leads. I would say we probably on average generate, if we can get 30 leads a month, that's a pretty good month, but we've got, but we've got high conversion because our business is so warm, right? So we do zero ad business. I just want to throw that out there. I do not pay for any leads. If you're paying for leads, stop it right now. Okay. Because I'm going to show you how to not have to do that.
I'm listening.
Okay. So like I said, so the basics of it, and this has all come from my coaching program. I'm part of the core coaching. If you haven't heard of it, go look at it. It's changed my life. Okay. They don't just teach you how to be business. They don't just teach you how to be a better realtor. But this goes for lenders as well. They've got lender coaches as well. They teach you how to be a better person. Like they literally track our giving. Like how much are we giving to charity? And if you don't give enough, but you make all this money, they they call you greedy until you got to go write a $10,000 check. Okay. So it's more than just a business thing. It's about how to be a better business person, how to be a better leader for your team, how to be a better husband, father. It's great. Okay. Changed my life. But the basics of everything come down to your theme days. Okay. There's 5 days in the week, and I just make it simple. Monday, I call my VIPs. These are people that, my attorneys, my CPA, people I'm giving business to, but people that are, maybe a principal at my kids' elementary school, those type of people, influential people that have the opportunity to affect others. Okay. And can put you in contact with other people. Okay, those are my VIPs. I call 12. I've got a top 50 VIP list. I call 12 a week. That means I'm talking to all 50 VIPs in a month, and I rinse and repeat every month. So I'm talking to them at least 12 times a year. Okay, and I host events throughout the year. They're getting invited. So I'm breaking bread with them. I'm hanging out with them. I'm taking them to lunch, things like that. Relationship. Okay, very little do I have to ask them for business, but I will remind them, hey, just in case, you forgot, I need you to help me, give me a lead or two. Okay. But there's a better way of doing that.
It's so humble. Hey, just in case you forgot, paying your mortgage, send some back my way. So by the way, for anybody listening or you're watching this, I'm actually writing these down because we are going to be executing against them because this is gold.
Yeah. So there's my first list. Okay. And then Tuesdays are my status update calls. So granted, I have a team now, so I'm leveraging this in a different way. But if you're a solo agent, this is a great opportunity for you to call your current clients that are in escrow, and just give them at least once a week. You're guaranteed, like you're probably talking to them more than once a week, but you're guaranteeing them every Tuesday, I'm going to call you if I have no update or a huge update. We're going to talk every Tuesday and just make sure we're all on the same page. Now, what I do is my transaction coordinator calls them on Monday and gives them the update, because at the end of the day, she's the one that's in the weeds with them at that point. Okay. So, but it tees me up so if I'm talking to a team leader now that has a team, your Tuesday updates are, hey, how's my team taking care of you? Is there anything we can do better? You're asking them about the customer service. And really what I'm trying to get to is I'm trying to get to 3 yeses. So if they give us praise or 3 yeses, guess what? I'm probably earned the opportunity to say, okay, well, if there's anybody else that needs our help, who are they and can I call them? Not, hey, will you tell them about us? Say, hey, who do you know that might want to sell in the next three to 6 months? Okay, can I have their contact info? That kind of thing. So it really tees me up to like, make sure that they're happy. And if and then it helps me keep a temperature on the team. Like, okay, you're not happy. What's going on? So that now I've got training topics with my team.
And let me ask you this. For your status updates, you do them weekly with all your transactions that are happening. How early or how late in the process are you asking them whether they know somebody who's buying or selling? Like, are you talking about a week into the transaction, like right away?
No, day one. I'm conditioning for a referral from the first day. We created a form. It's called a "We Need Your Help" form. So I do, you go on a listing appointment, and then for buyers, we do the best we can to have a buyer consultation before we set them up on a search and things like that. Now, sometimes with the buyers, you gotta kind of put the cart before the horse, but we always try to, at the end of the day, no matter what, have a buyer consultation. And so we go through, and then at the end, I slide this form in front of them, and it's called "We Need Your Help." And basically what I tell them is, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, my number one job is to take really good care of you. My number two job is to make sure that we've got another deal so we can keep doing business. So that I can do what my number one job is, which is take really good care of you. Can you help me with my number two job and help us find one or two people that might need our help this year?
Interesting. And do you do that also for buyers? Because I heard you say, hey, Mr. Seller. So that puts me
Absolutely.
in a position of automatically assuming you're doing mostly listings, right?
So this year, the market was a little different. We typically do more listings, but I'd say we probably ran closer to 50-50 than we ever have.
Okay. So just instead of saying, hey, Mr. Seller, you're saying, hey, Mr. Buyer, first thing is to get you in a home. Second thing is to help somebody else to do it so we can do it. Got it.
Yeah. And so, and I kind of say, I'll throw something out there like, hey, just, because we want to make sure we stay focused on taking really good care of you. So I don't have to go chasing all these crazy Zillow leads or anything like that, and they'll laugh, or whatever, and so, we're conditioning from day one. And I'll try to push, they'll say, oh, we don't know anybody right now. I was like, is there anybody that you work with that is having a baby, or is there anybody you work with that is retiring? I'll kind of start getting those gears turning, to where they're like, oh yeah, you know what? My boss is actually going to be retiring next year. Maybe you want to talk to him.
I like that. I like this a lot.
Now you're being very intentional. Okay. So we're Monday, Tuesday, before we get to all the other days, you have specific stuff for Wednesday, Thursday, and so forth.
Yeah. So Wednesday's lead day. Okay. Now that doesn't mean when you get a lead, you wait till Wednesday to call them. When you get a lead, speed the lead. You got to call them right away. This is for people we've already made contact with or that we have not made contact with, but we have tried. So Wednesday, I'm calling, hot leads. And I'll call some cold leads. We got a different kind of way we structure pipeline, but I've got my salespeople that call a little bit more of the colder business. So I try to make sure I'm calling people that are ready to convert. Or they'll get somebody to the point of where they're like, hey, they're kind of on the fence, and then I'll try to come in and bring them to our side of the fence, a little bit more aggressively. But yeah, so Wednesdays are lead days. So I'm calling every hot lead every week, on Wednesdays.
And what do these conversations look like?
Yeah. So it just depends on how soon they're looking to do something. Okay. So if they're like 3 months or less, I'm calling them every week, and it's more of just like, hey, I'm just calling to check in. They might be a buyer that's on a search. Hey, did you look at some houses with Ashley the other day? How'd that go? And things like that. So the calls on Wednesdays are really just more that I'm staying relevant, because what do you think the number one complaint most people have about their real estate agent is?
They're not paying attention. They're not sending them the right properties. They're not checking in with them. They feel like they're doing it by themselves.
They're not checking in. They're not following up. Follow up sucks with real estate agents, which I don't understand. So they feel like, man, like Kevin's calling to check in with me. I told him that we didn't want to do anything for a month, and I'm just lowering the bar. Hey, I know last time you said that, we weren't looking to do anything until February. I just wanted to call and make sure that you guys were doing okay. Is there anything that we can do for you? that kind of thing. So it's really just kind of making sure that you're staying relevant with them.
Staying super top of mind. Interesting. I don't want to deviate too much from your 5 days. I'm loving this. Or it might be 7. You'll have to break it down. But one of the big issues that a lot of agents have is once they've done a deal, they then stop keeping in touch as well. And that's why they lose all the referral business. So I'm assuming also that you're shit on it as well, like hot on it after a deal is done. It's like we can stay in touch, stay top of mind for friends, family, other deals that they can refer to you, right?
Well, let's get to Thursday.
Let's get to Thursday.
Thursday is very similar to Monday. Okay. I've got a list of my top 50 past clients. So the people that we did deals with that I would have them come over and have dinner at my house. I follow the same model. I call 12 of them every week. So I'm talking to them 12 times a year, and just building that relationship with them. Okay. Now, anybody that doesn't make the top 50 list, I still call them. Okay. And so I do that through a letter of the week. Okay. So there's, 26 letters in the alphabet, 52 weeks a year. So if you call one letter per week, you'll call your entire database twice a year. So I've got my top 50 that I'm talking to monthly, inviting to happy hours and lunches and events and really diving deep with them. But just because you're not on my top 50 doesn't mean you get forgotten about. Okay. I still write thank you cards and birthday cards and things like that for everybody we've done deals with. But my touch point with them is just, a little less frequent. It's more. Now, I've tried to pick that up to where I'm actually calling all of my past clients in a quarter. So I've really ramped up my calling because during COVID, things were a little crazy. And, I felt like, he who talks to the most people is going to get the most listings, type thing. And so I really ramped that up. So I call my whole database every quarter. But if you don't have time for that, if you're a solo agent and you're working your own deals and things like that, call A the first week of January, B the second, so on and so forth, and then start back over June 1st, and you'll call your entire database twice a year. So that's kind of Thursday to answer your question. So the top 50 past clients. Now we probably have a little bit more than that. I probably pushed that rule. I probably got about 60 on that list, just because I really like a lot of the people that we work with. But you got to kind of top grade it. Not everybody can stay on that list. You got to make sure you're staying in a relationship with them.
Got it. That's super interesting because that is, like you said, it's crazy how little realtors just don't keep in touch. It drives us insane because the amount of people that we know that do, especially when they build a big database, as the database over years. I've brought this guy up on a couple of podcasts. He actually has been one of the guests, and I think he'll do $1 billion. And he's been this year. And he's been in it 25 years. So, long, very, very established individual. And he's like, I did all this stuff. And then now my database is just so enormous. I've treated everyone so well for such a long period of time that I genuinely get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deals that are completely just through putting good into the world over such a long period of time now that he's at the point now where he's just trying to get rid of them all. It's kind of ironic. With real estate, it's like this hustle to get to this point, and then you get to that point and you get a great life, and then you realize you've done such a great job. Then now people keep giving you business long after you have an interest in doing the business. So 25 years in, he's like, I'm trying to give it to all the other people now. But was it nearly 3,000 deals this year, 2,600, I think he said, right? And it's 25 years, all this stuff. And he's like, most of it now is because I've just treated everyone really well. I've built great relationships. I've stayed in touch no matter where they are in the transaction. And therefore they just keep coming back because they remember me. Like I'm just there and I'm top of mind. And I've been doing that for 25 years. And look at that volume. I mean, it is ridiculous.
I mean, you don't do that unless you've got a rock star team, and I guarantee you that guys. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Huge team. Yeah, absolutely. So have you got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or do you take the days of rest? Do you have Saturday, Sunday off?
I do for the most part because I've got the team now. But I mean, so jumping into Friday. So Friday's where, I'm trying to, if I got to make any catch ups or anything like that. But really Friday is meant to build my VIP list for Monday. So if I met somebody at the golf course or something like that, I create a list. We call it like a target list. And those are people that I'm trying to figure out if I want them on my VIP list or not. And so that way I'm kind of growing that Monday call list, because the Monday call list is, it's a valuable one. I mean, if you think about it like this, okay, VIPs are people that, should be able to send you a deal. Let's say if they sent you a deal a quarter. Okay. So every 3 months they send you a deal. Okay. Well, if you got 50 of those, okay, each one of them sending you 4 deals, that's 200 deals a year from 50 people.
Right. Massive.
I mean, and if you just really break it down like that, and then you do the same thing for your top 50 past clients. Now, granted, this, the numbers, I get it. Like, it's not that easy, but if you build the list the right way over time, you'll get to that point. I know so many guys and girls that are doing 500 plus deals a year. And I would say 75% of their business is coming between their Monday and Thursday calls.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, because you got, or let's just say they send you 1 deal a year. If you work your VIPs and your past client list, and each of those give you 1 deal a year, that's 100 deals between 100 people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not hard.
It's huge, because these are really solid relationships. One of my questions that actually I've just kind of come up with or thought about was, when are you doing anything for the clients as well? Like, if they send you deals, do you do things for them? Do you, I don't know, whether you gift them stuff, or do you how do you show reciprocity, or is it just through relationship? I'm kind of curious about that, because they obviously know you're making X amount off a deal. So how does that work?
Yeah. No, we gift hard. We've spent a lot of money on gifting. Obviously at the closing, if you're on the top 50 list, I'll give you a birthday gift every year. When we do get referrals, like warm referrals. So like if somebody says, "Hey, I gave your card to Joe," I'm not going to send you a referral gift. Okay. But if you call me and you're like, "Hey, my buddy Joe, who's my neighbor, whose wife is moving to Virginia and they're going to sell their house. Here's his phone number and his email address. They've got 2 kids and a dog. And I told him that you would call him tomorrow at 11 around lunchtime. Here's his contact info." That's a warm referral. I'm going to gift that behavior. I'm going to reward that behavior.
Okay. And then is that how you also tell people that you would like to be referred as well? Do you kind of set that as a standard, or do you just let them do what they do?
Yep, 100%. So, we have that conversation. That's more of kind of like at the end, right? So I will condition them for the referral through the transaction, but then to kind of set it up for later on, I will kind of have that conversation with the clients. It's a little bit more passive. It's a little bit more like, hey, just through the conversations, kind of just asking them, hey, is there anybody, that, like, because the guards are down, pretty far with the clients, because it's easy conversations. How's the house? Oh, how are the kids doing? Da, 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 da. So like that conversation's pretty easy. I think the more conditioning of like, this is how I want you to refer me is more important on your VIP list. And the way that we do that is, if you're my VIP, I'm going to say, hey, Mr. VIP, you own this kind of business. How would you like for me to talk to potential clients about you? And I have them tell me. I'm going to say, that's fantastic. And then I may even throw in there, is there any way that would you be okay if I said, hey, I'm going to have you call my guy or my girl, and then I'm going to say everything you want me to say about them? And they'll say, yeah, that's perfect. I appreciate that. And I say, okay, great. So that's how I'm going to do that. So here's how I need you to refer me. So I'm asking them how I can help them before I'm telling them how they can help me.
Got it.
Give before you take.
And it rolls into your coaching program. You're saying you guys give through that as well, and you become a better man, better person, better husband, team leader, whatever, and all that good stuff. It's like reciprocity, giving back to the world, right? It's like just let them know. Oh, and by the way, you might not have known this. We've already helped over 100 agents cross over $100,000 and up in GCI per year with our predictable and scalable systems. So if you're interested in learning more about our courses and coaching to help you scale your business to 6 figures and beyond, head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com.